Alright, start up the ZBrush. How is everybody tonight? Let's see how this goes. Let's see. Alright, ZBrush is open. Let's go to Lonnie's. You guys want to go to Lonnie's with me? Alright. Here we are. Just going to go ahead. Let's load in our spotlight from last time. Actually, let's move it up further. Let's make it more opaque. And let's turn that off. We need to go up just so we can have everything ready. We'll give people a couple of minutes. Let's go over. Maybe we could share it to Facebook just to make sure that people are coming on. How's everybody doing so far, though? Hey, how you doing? Looks like we have YouTube starting to chime in. Alright. It's pretty cool. Going live. Woot woot. Post that to Facebook. Alright. So, it's been a long week. And it's only Wednesday. I'm just kidding. It's actually been really good. What's nice about this week is that I was let off early from work today, and hey Oscar, ¿cómo te va, compadre? So I was let off early from work today, in light of Thanksgiving being tomorrow, and then I'll be off tomorrow, and I'll be off Friday as well. So I've taken advantage of the time today to be able to work a little bit on my ArtStation challenge, which has mostly been taking that and bringing it into Maya, making sure that materials are starting to work for Arnold. It's pretty cool so far. I'm starting to get somewhere-ish. Long way to go, but starting to go somewhere. Okay. So, here are some things that I've come up with as ideas of things that I want to work on and incorporate. Gracias, amigo. Wait. Hey, Kyle. Hi. I love your little emoji there, little Pikachu. It's electric. So I've been thinking about things that I want to go through and do. Today I'm going to do quick block in those hills in the background. I'm going to see if we can try to figure out spatially how far back those need to go. The other thing I want to do, I'm not sure if I want to go through and start blocking in trees yet, but we'll see. We'll block in phone poles. And I was thinking we might go through and do IMM brushes for the phone poles and for the fence. You know, just go ahead and we'll just take the take the time we're given today to actually do the real pieces instead of the nothing pieces that I have in there, the stand-in pieces. But yeah, I mean, they're not bad. They're not super bad. They're just, come on. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, Windows key. There we go. Okay. But yeah, nothing special. Just super, super simple, simple things. Hola, Manuel. Manuel de Jesus Córdoba. There's a friend of mine in Argentina. He lives in Argentina. He's from Córdoba. Thanks, man. Yeah, just getting started. All right. I think we've been stalling long enough. It's been about 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so right now I've got my ground plane selected. Let's just go ahead and I'm going to come over. Let's select this I am in primitives brush and let's start having at it. Okay. Let's see. Let's go through. Let's actually I've got to show my timeline. Let's load the timeline that we created. Let's zoom on out. Actually, let's do this. Gotta move the little chat box. If it'll let me. Okay, there we go. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Alright. So, let's actually make the width for this. Maybe double it. Let's just take it to 5,000. Resize. Yes, I want to resize the document. Control new. This could be actually useful. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say actual. I'm going to turn off my spotlight. Okay, let's move this over here somewhere. Okay. Oops. New. Okay, so document. I'm going to save as new doc. Shoot. Cancel. Save as startup doc right here. Okay, so now it's going to load up that size whenever I pull things out. Okay. Now, if we come over and look at this, let's check out and see if we can get our composition to be more like what we see in the concept. Say something like that. Okay. Although oh shoot. I think I might need to pull in closer or something. Let's see. Let's maybe take this angle of view up to something like 70. I'm trying to open it up a little bit more. I want to really be able to see. Be Chad, my brother. How you doing, my friend? Dude. Okay, so Chad is like one of the most phenomenal sculptors. His stuff is always featured. He's super stellar. In fact, let me see. Maybe I should go ahead and pull up his portfolio, and I'll send you guys the link because he's awesome. Oh, where are you? I thought that you were on here. Yep, there you go. Be Chad. Wilfred, how you doing? Go check out Chad's work. Super stellar. Really fun. Hey Sandeep, how you doing? Good morning. I guess for you it'd be good morning, huh? Alright. So let's see. This ground, we're going to obviously want to work on the ground. I'm going to go through, let's mark this. We don't need this anymore, but we do need this. It's interesting. It's leaving like a ghost. I wonder why it's doing that. Okay. Cool. I guess that's fine by me. It'll just stay there, I guess. Good night. Yeah. For me, it's good night. It's 8 o'clock in the evening here. Okay, let's go ahead and let's save this new timeline. We'll say timeline 2. From India, huh? Yeah, so for you, it would be good morning. It'd be what, like maybe 10 or 11 in the morning? Is that about right? Okay, so things that I want to be able to address. We're already looking at the ground. Okay, so the ground needs to be adjusted. I have too many papers in the back here. Get rid of these. I voted. And somehow what I voted for didn't even make it, it didn't even get passed. Ground elevation changes. Okay, so we'll put that on there, stuff that we got to do. Because right now this is where I want it to be. Actually, let's see. Come on. If it wants to work. I think I might have too many things open. Let's see if we can close out Photoshop. Do I have anything else open? Doesn't look like it. Close that and that. Okay. So now we should just have the ZBrush open. The letters on the sign, are you referring to the actual diner sign there? Come on, there we go. So those were things that I actually did old school style in Maya using Bezier curves. Yeah. Crazy style, right? Alright. Okay, let's go through. Let's actually replace the old timeline with the new one, and we will call that good. It is good. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this sign, yeah, it was with Bezier curves. And with extrusions. The actual, like the big letter parts, those were actually just box modeled, just extruding and inserting edges and things like that. Here, let me hit solo because I don't need it to be showing everything at once. Yeah, everything just box modeled. It was super fun. It was fun trying to get the stylized look of the letters, and I feel like in the end it worked out pretty well. At some point, we're going to go through and we're going to, kind of finesse this a little bit, because right now it's just, some tubes kind of stuck in and out of some bricks. I don't know. So there are things that I'm going to be going through and doing. Like right here, I've got this cool lip. You know about Dreams on the PS4? I don't. It's a pretty cool looking game, though. Huh. Is that a newer one? Did that just come out recently? Hello, Ariane. Ariane. Might have to help me know how your name is actually pronounced. Okay, so that's about how that goes. A similar thing for like everything down here. All of these are like these neon tubes. Beta next month, that would be cool. Wish I had time for the beta. That'd be really sweet. Okay, so some of the things we're going to go through and do. Let's start by, well, let's come back over to this this hill that we drew in. This big old massive monstrous magical hill. Let's turn off perspective so I can see a little bit better what's going on. Okay, so we're gonna pull this out. Let's come in. Let's do a deformer. Just want to make sure that I've got a little bit more top-heavy topology and whatnot. And let's go ahead and accept that. Okay. Zoom out. It's not super important that that I'm so far zoomed out, because how far over does this have to get? Wow. Just gonna like super overdo it. See if that it doesn't even do anything. Okay, we're actually gonna go ahead and let's split this off because that could be helpful. It's so funny to me. Oh, hey, I can finally see it. Okay, so let's bring that reference back in. Okay, come on. Okay. Okay, let's just kind of shrink this down. See about putting it into place. I don't want the floor. I do want to turn perspective off. Let's turn on actual. It's so funny to me how quickly that got super out of where I wanted it to be. Let's use the extender. Oh, let's turn off symmetry. Where's the symmetry? There we go. Okay. Okay, so now here's a cool trick. And you know, my brush is plenty big. I don't have to worry about it, but oh, I guess it's doing it by default. I must have saved it in preferences. If your brush only goes up to 1,000 and you really want it to get a little bit bigger, you can go to preferences, down to draw, and this max brush size. You take that and you push that up. So the reference photo is from a friend of mine. Her name is Renee Bates. She did the illustration long time ago, and I actually started this project, the diner part and the sign. I did those a long time ago inside of Maya, but I never did further development on it. And there's a lot that I can do in tweaking the diner, refining the diner to make it actually work right, and look right, and work well for production sort of environment. That, and I wanted to really finish out like the rest of the environment. I want to do vehicles, I want to do those sorts of things. So this is from like my old portfolio. Thank you. Okay, so let's let's go over here first. Let's get rid of the creasing. Uncrease all. Just gonna do this. Good night. Thanks for stopping and saying hello. That was nice. That was nice of you. What pad do I use? Are you talking about my tablet? The Wacom Medium, Wacom Pro. It's got my sticker on it. It's a super nice tablet. There have been problems with it. You know, things that I would totally much rather never have to deal with, but you know, there were some weird driver issues, and then I think it wasn't really like a Wacom problem. I think it was more of like a Windows problem, because but as soon as I got everything taken care of, it's been working super fine. Blue Wacom Comic One. Which one is that? There we go. Okay. let's put this here as a way to be able to kind of get back to our little spot. Okay, so now it's too close there, but at least now I can, see it. Now let's turn on perspective. And it makes a huge difference. Okay, so that's starting to become something. Okay, so now that in fact, maybe what I'll do, let's take this, I'll hold Control, and I can pull this along. Just scale it up. Okay. So instead of just moving it up, I'm going to want to make sure that I move it back too. Right now it feels like this is too steep, so let's, maybe not. It's a bit more steep than what I would want though. Okay, so let's take it, we're really just focused on finding the shapes. There we go. I'm like, hey, my brush. Okay, let's pull this down a little bit now. Now I've gotten something of a good shape for it. Okay. Change my Z intensity down pretty significantly. Let's see what we can get. Let's lower that a little bit. Let's do this just for the sake of making sure that I have different polygroups. Okay, let's do this now. Okay, let's do it this way. Just gonna hide. Okay, good, went all the way around. Okay, let's go modify topology, delete hidden. Now we can delete items. That's something that I never. Borrar. That's probably what I'd say. Just about to say, I can't even think of what I would use to say delete in Spanish. It's kind of funny. Anyway, let's mask substantially partial. Okay. Let's turn off perspective and let's make sure we've got this. Something like that. Okay, so with these things set in the background, and let's turn perspective back on. That's actually a really where's perspective? So I'm just looking right past it. If it had been a snake, it would have bitten me. Okay, let's go ahead and let's crease the openings to those. Okay, so this is more or less. In fact, here's something that we'll go through and we'll do too. Okay, we're gonna go ahead. I'm going to color pick. Oh, that's why. I'm gonna color pick from this. Okay, and then we're gonna go over and let's go color fill object. Okay, but I want this one to actually be slightly darker. Let's okay, let's go color fill object. That way it stands out a little bit. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I'm not yeah. Yeah, Swathi. So that's you know, it's funny. So my big emphasis is in character. I love characters, but everything that I do professionally deals with environments, and so since there isn't anything else dealing with environments on ZBrush Live, I figured that would be a cool change from what we usually see. Okay, let me see. I'm going to take these pieces. Let's mask. Make sure this is nice and level. And we're going to extrude it out. Wait, hold up. What am I waiting? What am I holding up? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it is something that I figured it would be just a fun, different something to change it up. Environments, like when I was going to school, I was pretty well known for really liking environments. Always stylized. Yeah, that's just my stuff. I love stylized everything. And so to be able to be able to go through and do stuff like this for fun, but you know, for in this sort of venue, you know, in ZBrush Live with all you good folks, you know, it's just fun. It's just fun. I want to be the Bob Ross of 3D. We'll get to our happy trees in a moment. Okay, so we're going to pretend like that's good for right now. Let's go ahead and check it out with our composition. Turn the perspective back on. Okay, it looks like it's starting to work. But let's raise this up a little bit. Let's go out here. Let's turn off perspective. Let's pull this out, pull this out, pull this out. I want to create more separation there. Okay, let's say uncrease all and then recrease to be able to get that bottom creased. So where's everybody from? I know that we've got was it Sandeep? I was here from India, and then we've got. Let me see who else I actually recognize so far. Mauricio, that's a cool name. Yeah, so far the only one that I know is Sandeep from India. Oh, and Bichar, he's from India too. And then Kyle's from here, Oscar's from Mexico. That's all I know. Omaha, Nebraska, New York. Oh, John, you're from New York? I had no idea. For some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason I assumed you were from, like, UK. That's funny. Alright, let's call that good for now. Brooklyn. Okay. That's starting to become something. Let's go ahead and actually apply that. Now let's go ahead, delete lower and higher. That way we're stuck with this new mesh. New Zealand. Oh. No, see, like, I love New Zealand because it's like, well, one, I mean, people are fun. People are just like these, just super, just loving and kind and just super awesome people. But the accent is super awesome too. I mean, it's like if you were to take Australian and sophisticate it, give it some eloquence. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I don't like Australian. I just feel like, you know, that's just how I feel about the New Zealand accent. It's awesome. So good on you, mate. Good on you. Okay, let's see. So we're gonna call that good enough for the hills for now. We might need to pull this over or something, but you know, we'll get stuff. Very flattering. Hopefully. I need my mask lasso. this over here. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so right there, let's call that. Actually, let's do this. Actually, let's instead of leaving this alone, we're going to come on. Let's go ahead and make them separate pieces, because I feel like that would enable me to give this a different color. Yeah, let's just leave it for now. Okay, and maybe what we'll do, because we can, we'll just go ahead. We'll take this. Oh, come on. Take this. We'll make it a slightly darker, purplier sort of color. And what's nice is that since we have that extra little edge loop in here, I don't have to worry about that color bleeding onto the rock, the other rock. Okay, so now we get a little bit more of a definition between the different hills. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's take the color back up to white, because I don't want everything in the foreground to get lost. Let's block in some primary colors here. Let's go over to here. Let's go to actual. Okay, so what's cool, I can see a little bit of like green and then I think red behind that. So in fact, let me make this nice and big. Okay, come on. Here we go. Okay. So we got, yeah, so definitely some sort of green for the stem. I think I might, we might do the same green for that, that we're going to probably put on. There's a glow shader or something like that. I think that's what it's called. It doesn't actually glow, but you know, it looks kind of fluorescent or something. We're going to put that for the actual neon bits. You know, I just want to go through real quick and kind of block in base colors. And the reason why I want to block in base colors, oh, that sign, it might actually be some sort of like deep blue or something. Let's scale this up some. In fact, let's go over here. Let's hit C. Okay, that's not going to be good enough for me right now, and I want to change my material too. So let's go that startup material, because that'll be better. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, let's go color. Oh, I'm gonna change my material. Color, fill object. Okay. In fact, maybe let's go ahead and get these out of the way. Select rectangle. Might even end up having to redo these neon tubes at some point. Reason being is that they weren't constructed. I mean, they have some like a good start in being able to do being able to be proper and whatnot, but one of the things that I want to go through and make sure of is that it's constructed properly. And you know, maybe it's not super important, especially if it's sort of be just an illustration, or if it were to be a bit for a feature film, and we weren't wanting to care too much about getting super close to it. Lonnie's Bulldog Diner. Okay, oh, these are neon 2. So is that one? Come on. There we go. And then this might be one of 2. Let's get that. Come on. We'll go. Oops. What? Get that. Get this bad boy over here. Okay. Okay, so what we want to do, we'll go ahead and let's actually polygroup this too. But I'm going to polygroup it in a way to be able to cater to the different colors. So for instance, this diner section, everything down here is all green, whereas most of the things on the top are all red. So, oops, forgot that I had my mask lasso on. I was expecting to drag out marquee one. Okay, so we got one polygroup. Okay. Let's just to be able to start fresh, I'm going to do that. So we have 2 polygroups, and with my Z modeler, polygroup an island. And then let's get these other pieces that are supposed to be blue. Okay, it's not that one, but we have this one, and this one. And actually what we could do is we could go like this, polygroup that, and then we can say polygroup all. And now we've got, I don't want symmetry turned on, silly goose. Alright. So if we wanted to, we could go through, we could do this, and then we could just cycle through until we get to something red. That'll work. Okay. So it gets all of that neon. Now what we can do, I think we can colorize by polygroups, and correct me if I'm wrong. No, there's supposed to be a colorize. Maybe there's a, oh, polypaint from polygroups. There you go. So now we got these colors that we can go ahead and we can keep. So let's where to go, material, and let's go ahead and switch over to colorize glow. Okay, it doesn't really look very glowy. Let's actually look for something that looks even glowier. The text box gets in the way a lot. Let's do this because that's pretty flat, so that'll look pretty good. Let's go color, fill object. Okay, so now I can go back. Okay. What do you guys think for the yeah, it's really red, I know. So maybe what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll take this, let's color pick it, and then it's actually really big. Let's change it to something more like this. That's better. Okay. Yeah, the idea is to go through and do stuff like this so that we can have a better sense of what our separation of the scene and things like that. So let's go ahead, let's go color, fill object. That's way darker than I was intending. Okay, let's do that, color, fill object. That'll be better. Let's try this. Needs to be a lot less saturated. Okay, but now for this part, let's make it a little bit brighter. Maybe a little bit warmer too. That'll be alright for now. Okay. So let's do what do you guys think? What should we let's block in some more. Should I work on maybe I'll work on doing the ground next. Let's play with some of this elevation change and things like that. because I do want to make something happen here. Let's bring this over here. Let's do okay, so for right now, the things that are important to me aren't big deal things. It's mostly just trying to figure out blocking and getting something of form in here. Otherwise, it's a bunch of very, very flat ground, very flat surface. So we're gonna pretend like there's some cars that drive in through here. Like maybe these are your most common drive paths. Let's maybe get some real movement coming in here or something. Okay, just keeping it really simple, really just trying to break up the evenness of the ground, right? Let's get this colored too. Let's get this, but we'll go darker, more saturated, and maybe something more. Actually, let's go less saturated. Let's go color fill object. You know, at some point I can go ahead and I can add in some green or whatever, but for right now, it's not a bad deal. Color fill object, okay. Over here, actually, this is a cool idea. So where I grew up, there was a lot of livestock. Let's go to masking. Let's mask the border there. Okay, so a lot of livestock. And I always loved. Sí, yo hablo español, sí. It's Spanish. Oops. Very good. En Chile, siempre se burlan de los americanos, o mejor dicho, se burlan del inglés, que lo encuentran chistoso, algo, no sé, en verdad, pero siempre se ríen de algunas frases que tenemos de hello. Siempre dicen hello o open the door, close the door. No soy de Chile, pero ahí aprendí el español. Yeah, estoy de acuerdo. Yeah. Lo extraño mucho. En verdad. Chuta, loco. ¿Cómo andáis? Mate Chile, Saúl. ¿Cómo está el loco? So sorry, if I get to be too excited about my Spanish, it's because Spanish is awesome and you need to learn it. Okay. So. Sí. Sí. No, en verdad, tienes mucha razón. Sí, loco. Yeah, I miss Chile. Buena. Ando pato, loco, no tengo nada. Dame un cobre, man. ¿Cómo vas? ¿Cómo está ahí? ¿Cómo andáis? No tengo esposa. Esposa es mejor que polola. Pero en algún tiempo sí. En aquel tiempo, antes de casarme con ella, sí era mi polola. Polola es como novia, it's a girlfriend. But it's like before you get engaged. So you have like this ranking. You have polola or pololo, which would be your boyfriend girlfriend. Okay, it's like a minimal commitment. After that, if you get engaged, then they become novios, novio, novia. And then obviously when you're married, you're not pololo and you're not novios, you're esposos. You know, it's just fun. I like the distinction. I think it's nice. Gran experto. Quisiera ser gran experto. El mejor consejo es experimentar. Es siempre un gran experimento. Que en verdad, como no se puede decir nada mejor que eso. Try to match that view a little bit better. Oh, la otra cosa, un gran consejo, digamos, es sirve de mucho aprender a observar. Oh, interesting. I'm going to bookmark that. I'm pretty sure the closer we get down to 0, yeah, the flatter it becomes. Is there a way? Nope, it doesn't go higher than that. I might. see, the thing that I want to be able to get out of this is I want to be able to get the composition to be, pretty close to what it's supposed to be. Okay, so let's come over here, let's find ZBrush. No hay competencia con que Cinema 4D como hace algunas cosas muy buenas, pero por lo que hago yo no sirve de nada. No tiene ni un luz ni un brillo. Tampoco. No, SketchUp. Yo tengo algunos compañeros de trabajo que ellos usan SketchUp. Sí, Saúl te entiende, sí. Porque él es de Santiago, dijo, creo. Por ahí, algo. SketchUp. SketchUp es bueno para poder hacer como visualizaciones, ¿verdad? No sé cómo se lo dice, pero ok, un poquito más en cuanto a quién soy yo. Bueno, yo soy Steven Anderson. Yo me gusta, pues, me gusta mucho dibujar y me gusta el mar, me gustan los peces, todo eso. Yo trabajo en el momento por Disney, para Disney, pues los dos, sí. pero pero yo trabajo para desarrollar los rides de Disneyland, de Tokio, de Japón. Y es bien divertido, sí. It's too strong. Bien divertido. Tengo 30 años. Trabajo para Disney, sí. Come on, solo. is not good placement for that. So let's see. Pero en el momento estoy viviendo cerca de Los Ángeles de California. No es mi preferido, que a mí me encantan las montañas y no hay montañas por acá. Bueno, casi no hay. En verdad hay unas montañas aquí cerquita. Pero pero en verdad no son iguales a las montañas que tenía cuando, bueno, donde yo me crecí, donde me crié. Okay. I think we're gonna need to move this sign. Okay, let's move it back. And then I also actually want to shrink it. I'm trying to make sure my mind is in ZBrush, not in Maya right now. I've been working in Maya all day long today, and so I'm trying to make sure that La Paz, ¿dónde está La Paz? No es La Paz de Bolivia, ¿cierto? Cuando yo estaba en Chile, yo estaba cerca de la ciudad de Concepción, entre Concepción y Temuco. That was fun. So yeah, whatever questions, whatever comments, whatever anything you'd like to be able to say or ask or do or whatever, I am more than open to talking and chatting and answering questions and having fun. Pero dijiste, sí, que sos de Chile, pero está viviendo ahí en Bolivia, digamos. Genial eso, sí. A mí me encantaría visitar La Paz. Tengo un amigo, un agramón, Víctor. Creo que su primer nombre es Víctor, pero su apellido es Agramón. Es muy güerito, sí, pero muy buena onda, sí. De Quillota. Está bien, eso está bien. So cool. Quillota. I have a friend from Quillota too, Muñoz, but they're like, hay montones de de personas con apellido Muñoz, pero pues de ahí es mi amigo Daniel Muñoz. Cool. Alright. Okay, so more ZBrush. Sorry, I'm getting like super excited over cool stuff. Let me see. Okay, so for right now, I'm just going to take this Let's turn the intensity all the way up. See, this right now is strictly for the sake of blocking in the ground. So having it go back and intersect with these mountains and things like that doesn't matter a whole lot. We'll make more sense of it later. Pues después de los terremotos de como 2010, eso fue terrible, pero sí, como yo he notado que en verdad han construido mucho. Yo hice los estudios en BYU. En inglés e igual en español. Okay. Oops. Okay, so let's voy a probar algo. Yo hice los estudios en Brigham Young University, la Universidad Brigham Young. Fue genial, sí. Allí conocí a mi esposa. Allí pude hacer muchas cosas, en verdad. Me dio oportunidades de poder conocer a varios de los profesionales que trabajan en mi carrera y todo eso, y me dio la oportunidad de también poder experimentar un poquito con varias carreras que están relacionadas con animación, y pues eso a mí me gustó. Okay, you know what? Let's see. fix this. This has been bothering me. So I'm going to do it. Oops. Let's go to actual, play with it at actual. I need to establish some more polygroups. One of the things that's really useful with polygroups is that it'll allow you to go through and be able to have quick selection groups. So does this have multiple subdivision levels? Yes, it does. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so you see that kept my polygroup nice and clear defined when I went ahead and subdivided. So what this will allow me to do is it'll allow me to better control the shape of just this surface. The other thing that I want to go through and do is, let's go through and just do this. Those. Go ahead and polygroup this. Sí, que transpose es sencillo, pero incluye muchas, digamos, capacidades, habilidades de poder hacer, como de mover o de cambiar de la forma, de girar, de todo, pero hay que experimentar mucho para saber cómo usarlo. Okay, so now this actually needs to go back further. This needs to go forward. Yeah. La clave es eso de poder experimentar muchas opciones, en verdad, sí. do this. Let's go. Oh, so one of my friends from work, he and his family live in Malibu, which, yeah, I mean, that's super cool and whatever, but he was out of state for a good couple of weeks, all during the time of the fires. And he said that his house was not burned by the fires. He's hoping that his house wasn't looted. But one of the things that he had talked about was that, which is so hard to think about, but that all of the houses around his house, so essentially he and then 4 other houses in his neighborhood, his whole neighborhood, were fine. The other houses were burned, and just think about how hard that is. How hard that would be. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna polygroup island. Be able to get this to be. Didn't think about that. So never mind. I totally forgotten, utterly and completely, that it had subdivision levels, which is a big deal if you're wanting to I forgot that was part of this mesh too. There are a lot of little pieces on here. I might have to just go ahead and kind of get rid of it. With this, I might just go ahead and continue to line up too. Let's go ahead, let's do good polyloop. Oh, that's right. Okay, so there are multiple things that we can do. Let's just go ahead, let's come over here, let's say auto groups. We'll hide the main one. We'll hit Control W to make sure that the inside of those eyes are the same polygroup. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do this. And the reason is that it's controlling this shelf going around. And actually, I can let's get that, and we'll include it in this polygroup. I get the whole loop. Looks like I did. I hope I did. Yeah. Yeah, we got it. Okay. I'm going to go around and just mask out everything that I don't want to move. Oops. Let's test this out and see if we can get pues sí, se puede hacer, cómo se puede hacer esto. No, that's not the right one. Where is it? Opacity. Se puede hacer eso, sí. De ver, se puede cambiar de tamaño y todo eso. There's a lot of things I need to work on this guy. Let's actually like to bounce around a lot when I'm working on these projects, especially when it's something that involves a ton of different pieces. I'm just going to kind of fix the alignment on this. Just a little bit, just enough to say I did something on it. Okay, so let's go through and do something similar like what we did last week, where we went through and we started kind of mapping things out. No, actually that's not. And at some point I'm going to want to develop some sort of cobblestone to be able to lay out around the outside of this diner. Okay. For right now, let's go ahead, let's get a block in for this phone pole. Okay, so I'm going to go to this cylinder 3D. I'm going to go to initialize. And let's say age divide, let's take this down to 8. I don't need anything in the height, so I'm just going to take it down to the lowest it'll give me for the 3. 4, I guess. 1, 2, 3. I guess 4 is what it'll give me. Okay, so let's take this down to something like 10 by 10 by 100. And then actually let's take it down to like 5 by 5 by 100. Okay. And technically I'm going to want to like narrow it, skinny it down even further. Entomos. ¿Qué quiere decir entomos? Okay, so I mean now that I have this, I can go make polymesh 3D. Okay, let's go ahead and say make that really tall and skinny. Let's make it something lighter so I can see what's going on. And something redder. Let's go ahead and fill the object just so that it doesn't change colors on me. Okay, so we want to go ahead and let's make this foam pole. I'm not going to worry about making all the little nails and things that hold the wires up. But I do want to make the supports on top. Okay. Entomos or entornos? Entornos, environments. Yo me lo voy a anotar. No es una palabra que había aprendido. Está bien eso. Me gusta aprender. I like learning new words in Spanish. It's always helpful. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's say I want to duplicate this. I'm going to make this a cube because we love cubes. Actually, let's make it a 1 by 1 by 1 cube. Okay, so now we got this cube with no depth or no strange resolution. It's just pure cube. Okay, so what I want to do, and I'd probably go ahead and I'll look at reference here in a minute, just because I want to know what it looks like, how the structure of this actually works. Because if we look at, let's bring this over here, so you can see a little bit of what's going on, but it's really hard to know exactly what's happening with this structure. I can tell that there are 2 poles, one on either side. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and let's take this. Stick it back up in there in that corner. Okay. Make it nice and skinny like that. Anybody here ready for Thanksgiving for tomorrow? one of my favorite things to do. Okay, so I like to make sure that if I'm working around the center, that I have things centered. So what I'll do is I will come down to position. You see I've got this X position right here, and how it's not on the 0. I can just go here and I can do that. Or if I like how this looks better than that, I can just come over here, mirror and weld, except that deformation, mirror, mirror and weld. Okay, so now I can turn on my symmetry and I can kind of adjust things a little bit better. Okay, so let's go through, let's make sure that this is, I don't want it to get closer to the center there. Okay, there we go. I'm going to call that good. Okay. Now here's a moment where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look up. Wow, that gets super warped when you're at this sort of. So one of the tricky things with the perspective inside of ZBrush is that it's not true perspective. Okay. It's not true perspective. So for instance, this angle of view, let's turn it down to something more natural, like around 70. Like if you were to look at the same perspective settings inside of other 3D applications, you would get, you know, very predictable results. I still haven't figured out exactly how to get that perspective to work to my advantage. And like I was showing you when I had the full environment up, made it really hard to trying to think of what I'm trying to say. It made it hard to see everything in a way that felt natural. Like I couldn't get to a point where I felt like I was looking at the diner more from an eyesight point of like an eye height point of view from the other side of the street, which is something that I'd like to be able to do. Which is something that I can do in inside of mine. I'm still trying to figure out how to get that handled here. So if anybody has any tips, I would totally love that. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna look up some quick reference. Let's see what this is. Telephone pole. Oh, let's say it's a wood telephone pole. Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's really just nothing to it. Okay, this one's good. This one looks good. Alright. Let's save this image. Vintage. That's funny. Okay. In fact, let's okay, so we're gonna go over, go texture, import. Okay. We're gonna add that to the spotlight. Let's just make it smaller. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing. Okay. So for this, I'm going to go through and build like this steel bar, and I'll probably actually just, and I can use what I've got. So let's do this. We're going to do, okay, really plain and simple. Okay, what I need is an L shape, which I have. I just need to delete a couple of faces. Okay, so delete. Let's turn on, let's go down here to display properties. Let's hit double, just so we can see. Okay, delete that end. So now we're stuck with this double-ended piece here. Okay, let's turn off perspective, because this will be important. Okay, I'm going to use my slice curve. I'm just going to slice it right there. Now what I can do, I can mask that. Bring this up here like that. And I guess doing the snapping rotation isn't really going to do me much good. But something like that. Let's mask out everything except for that point and move it over, so that it helps to bring back the fullness of that shape. Okay, once I got that, all I gotta do is hit extrude all polygons, and I'm extruding it the wrong direction. I'm doing it on purpose, so at least it's on purpose. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Alt. I just want to dedicate these. I'm going to change to a single polygon. I just want to make sure that it's thick enough to support whatever kind of bolt that we put in there. Okay. So now with this, what I want to do is I want to have mirror and weld. I want it to go in the Z direction as well. Ooh, let's turn off. First off, we're going to turn off L symmetry. Need to go deformation, mirror. Now we can go mirror and weld. Interesting how that happens. Okay, so this should be easy enough to fix. We're just going to go ahead and mask that out, mask that out, mask that out. Okay, we're going to pull that up. Cool. So now in our reference, you can see it's not pointed down at the bottom. So this is actually really easy to fix. I'm just going to go ahead, bevel, edge loop complete, and boom. Just make it as wide as we want to make it. Okay, something like that. And let's just go ahead and, if we hold Alt while we're masking, we can unmask. So now obviously this is not giving me the sharp crispness that I need. So we're going to go ahead and let's get these things crisp. And we might actually be able to get what we need if we just hit crease polygroup. And the other thing we can do is that we can just come over here. If we set our crease tolerance to 45, that's usually like my nice warm number for creating good creases. Okay. So if we wanted to, I would actually come in here, let's say, let's do that. Down to 1 over there. Okay. We're going to uncrease all. Now let's go ahead and hit that crease polygroup. Let's make sure that we get the creases everywhere we want them. Actually uncrease and see if that's it's not doing exactly what I want down there. So maybe what I would do is this would be a good time to go ahead and bevel this. Yeah, that looks good. So the reason why I want to go through and just have my dynamic on and do creasing everywhere is that it allows me to be able to see what it would look like if it were subdivided without the trouble of actually subdividing. So that becomes really, really nice. Let's see. Actually, let's go ahead. Let's do. We're gonna pull these close together. And yeah, I think let's just go ahead and we'll take this up. It bothered me how much it was sticking out. Okay. Let's go ahead and shrink it up so that it's matching that reference better. That's too much. see, shrink that down. Okay. So I think, what time is it? It's already almost 10 o'clock. Wow. Wow. Okay, let me see. Let's come up to this one. We can get rid of this one now. Let's go back to our reference here. Okay, so again, this is mostly about blocking. Okay, so what I want to do, yeah, that'll be better. And technically, they've got like these funny little cans up top. Let's actually do this. Let's put symmetry in the Z and in the X. Insert primitives. And let's say capsule. Okay. Let's kind of scale these out. What I want to do, this is a great opportunity to use your transpose line. I just want to kind of make this happen here. Okay. Let's get this. I'm just going to kind of shoot. Let's do this instead first. Okay. Right now I feel like it's in the way, so okay. So what I want to do, let's get that taper in there. So what I'm doing is I have my transpose line on, and I have it going straight down. I have it on the scale setting. I'm holding Alt and I'm scaling in this tool. I have local symmetry on, so it's working on the single piece rather than everything. What's nice about that is that it's going through and it's scaling everything in kind of like this parabolic sort of influence. So it's affecting everything around that circle a lot, and then everything as it gets away from that point, less and less. So that's really nice. The thing, if you were to go through and do it just like this, it's going to scale everything uniform in every direction except for the direction that the tool is pointing. So it's really, really handy, and I totally recommend going through and playing with it. You can just scale it down uniform in all directions if you use the last circle. Let's go ahead and make sure this is in the position that we want. And then let's say split masked. I still have my move tool turned on, so do that. these are essentially kind of like just representative of the little things on top of the phone poles that hold the wire. I think they're also supposed to diffuse. Well, thank you, Kathy. Okay, so what we want to do right now, now that we have this made, okay, it's not anything ultra special. But, you know, it's still something useful. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I have this. Oops. Like I said, this is just the material that it had selected, so let's go ahead and we'll apply it. Color, fill object. Let's get color, fill object. That way it has a little bit of a variation. Okay, right here, what I want to do is center that. Just going to thicken it out just enough to make sure that it's not totally straight. Okay, not enough to go through and say, oh, that's not the same thing. But I definitely want it to be. Okay, so let's merge down, always okay, merge, merge, merge. So now I've got this whole phone pole in one subtool. What I want is to turn this, I gotta make sure all my pieces are facing the right direction. So you can see, like, I forgot to flip this inside out. It's really, really easy to do. So with the Z-Modeler brush, if you have no subdivisions, okay, it's only work if you have no subdivisions. Hey Mohammed, how you doing? It's so great to have Muhammad Ali on my on the stream saying hi. So cool. It's a great name, by the way. So you can go over here to hover over a face. You can say flip faces. You can say island. Okay. So there you go. Flipped. Flipped. So now you can go about your business and be happy. The other thing that I would want to do is, let's go ahead and we'll say crease. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted an edge. I'm going to say crease. Edge loop complete, sure. Just want to try to make sure that I get all of the important edges. Oops. Let's get this. Let's go ahead and say this. Let's turn on the display properties double. Okay, so I can see I've got both of those there. What I want to do is I'll go crease and I'll just turn it up to 180. I'll say crease, and so now I've got the creases on those poles there. Okay, these have extra pieces that I don't need. So what I'm going to do is, let's come over here, let's say delete flat island. Boom, boom. Okay, you see that? Really, really simple. And especially if you have symmetry turned on. Really nice. Anyway, so let's go ahead and that's good to go. in fact, since we have this here, we can just say crease, so that way it'll keep those edges nice and crisp for us. Okay, I'm going to save this little pole because this will be helpful to me. Let's go ahead to Lonnie's Diner. Phone pole 01. And let's make a new folder. Let's call it extras. Okay. So now we're just going to come up here and we're going to do the simple thing. We're going to go brush. And of course, this is in the way. Create insert mesh. New. Okay, so foam pole 1, perfect because it took the name of the subtool. Which is funny, is like this is something that I always forget to do. Is I always forget to go through and name my subtools when I create an insert mesh brush. Oh well. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna hit save as. And we're going to say, yeah, under extras, we're going to say foam pole. I'm gonna call it IMM, foam pole. I'm gonna start making brushes that I make on these streams available for free over my Gumroad at some point. But yeah, so for right now, this is what I'll have. Extras, sweet, okay. So now, let's jump back over here. Let's make sure the whole diner is showing up. Okay, so now that we have our foam pole, we can look at our illustration. I think that the foam pole is coming from the inside. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're just going to drag out our foam pole. Much too tall. No fear, no worries. Maybe about that tall, something like that. Let's check it out with the composition. Okay, definitely not in our view. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this, move this off to the side. Okay, so this is something that's definitely going to need to be tweaked and finessed. See, let's go ahead, let's take this, and this goes actually really far up, really close to the edge of that. Edge of the composition. So let's do something like that. And then let's bring this back. Okay. So let me see. There's another foam pole, presumably off here somewhere. I think I could just keep going for a while. So if I need to get off, I'll get off. But I don't have anybody else after me, so yeah. If anybody wants me to get off, speak now, or I'll just keep going. Let me Lonnie's Diner. Yeah, so there's another phone pole kind of off to the side. So let's put that in. Let's go actual, scroll over here. Okay, so here's one thing I want to do is split unmasked points. Okay, let's take this. We'll move this over here, something like that. One of the funny things, this first poll came out somewhat crooked, and it's funny to me. I mean, I didn't think much of it. But it kind of helps to add to some of the story. Yeah, not perfectly straight up and down, but kind of cool. Let me see. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Yeah, this everything about this needs to be super tweaked. So what I'll probably do, in relation to fixing that chain, is that I will probably fix the chain after I fix the bulldog's head, because the bulldog's head itself has a lot of fixing to do. So let's see. Let's see if we can't get this to be somewhat decent. One of the things that bothers me, I mean, this is something that I only noticed after years of having started the project, and yeah, it's like I'm noticing things like, like you were talking about, Kareem, is the chain, and I think your English is just fine, but making some adjustments, the things that absolutely need to happen. Let's hide that. Now here's the trick. Okay, let's go Control A, be able to mask that off. I'm gonna come over here. Actually, let's go there. Okay. From here, it doesn't even seem like it's the right choice. Let's fix the back here. And the intensity is really strong. So after fixing all of this, I'm going to have to go back and fix the collar and all those pieces. But you know, when you're wanting something to look right, you don't want to be worried so much about the work that goes into it. And you just want to make sure that it looks right. Oh no. That's the trouble with local symmetry. Okay, so as soon as I turn that off, that's just fine. I hate that. I do that way too often. It's fine. I mean, at least, you know, at least there's a fix. I go through and doing that super smooth. I think what I might do, I'm going to delete the higher resolutions. I don't feel like I need them. Not at this stage. And I want to go through and military bond, just joining in. Did you start this in ZBrush or did you start in something else like Maya? Yeah, so this is actually an old project from Maya, from like 2014. What I wanted to do is I wanted to take it, and one, I want to make it so that it's closer to what the concept shows, while at the same time I want to finish out the environment. So what I've started doing, and as you can see, I've got different ground planes. I have constructed a stand-in fence. It's not anything fancy. It's just something to be able to show that there will be a fence. There was a blocking in for a road. I kind of want to go through and build a road kind of coming back over this way, just because I feel like that'd be pretty neat, you know, have it at the crossroads. In which case, I think maybe even taking the fence out, except for over here, maybe running back along that other road or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, there will be plenty of opportunities for me going forward to be able to build things like the vehicles, or you know, like I blocked in this this sign last week. Okay, so you know, just simple things. But yeah, just trying to go through and find things like composition. Okay, so coming over, yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun going through and getting this to read the way that I want it to. Lots and lots of fun. Okay, so one of the things I want to do, let's take, cool, I got 3 polygroups at one. We're going to come up here. Let's just trying to play with this. I'll eventually go through and I'll re-aim the eyes, but I just kind of want to play with this and see. Mask that. Okay, never mind. Let's actually mask this part. I might actually have to end up going through and building new eyeballs. Not that it's important to have an eyeball per se, because it's a building. But it's one of those things that, to me, helps me to figure out form, helps me to figure out. Okay, so. Okay, let's do this, because I don't like how far apart they are. They need to be closer together. Now that I only have one subdivision level, I can go through and I can start to use my ZModeler. It's one of my absolute favorite tools. Like, I cannot express to you how much I love ZModeler. Let's go through and see. Mr. Dan Benton, oh my gosh. Dude, how you doing, dude? Thanks, man. I'm trying to decide. Also, I need to get rid of this eyebrow up here because that's just a bit too much. So this is Lonnie's Bulldog Diner. Isn't it obvious? No, so yeah, I'm essentially working on this scene, and I've got the concept up there in the corner. But let's go ahead and zoom out and put this down here. So this is kind of what it's looking like compositionally at the moment, and so yeah, I've been bouncing back and forth a lot of like, I'm working on this now, and I'm working on this now, and I'm working on this now. Now he's a panda. You know. Yeah, so just you know. And so a lot of what I've been trying to do, yeah, it'll take a good long while. So hopefully people don't get bored. Yeah, it's not the super exciting stuff yet. Yeah, like you're saying, Danny, it's all super clean at the moment, which is good. I mean, that's something that we need in order to have good production meshes. This is the idea behind this, is to go through and do something that would be production-like. And then just trying to go through and figure out, making this feel right, give it all the right forms and everything. And this is old topology, and so it's not quite how I do it right now. I'd probably go ahead and do it a little differently if I were to do it again, but I don't think I'll do it again. Ungrease off, that shouldn't have been greased. It's attached, it's modeled in. So yeah. And eventually part of what I want to go through and do is, right now, I mean, these legs are attached as if he's gonna get up and walk away. Like Howl's Moving Dog Diner. Okay, it's starting to look a little bit better. It's funny how just moving the eyes like that super helps. It's funny. There are just key little things that will make or break a 3D model. I need to make that tail bigger. I just feel like that's my latest hunch. X, W. Okay, I want this door frame to stay intact, so let's give it some polygroups. Do polygrouping. Okay, so let's say polygroup. Make sure it's something different. Some of these things will probably go ahead and change after a while. I don't need some of these loops. In fact, let's get rid of this one on the inside here. Okay, so man, I love this. It's so much fun. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna finish. So this spot, I want to just carry these loops all the way through. There's really no reason to have it stopped right there. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that polygon right there. That's all I need. Okay, I'm going to say bridge, 2 points. Okay, this is a phenomenal trick. Okay, super simple. Okay, but that's something that's really just changed everything about how I work inside of ZBrush. So single insert. Okay, I can tell that I'm losing symmetry somehow. This one's closer to that one, or closer to the center than. Can you see that? So yeah, we'll accept that. That'll be good. Let's just delete that polygon. The reason I'm doing this is I want to be able to create this kind of cleft in the middle, like it's got here. Kind of fun. Okay, so I'm just going to bridge edges. Okay, and really nice and simple. Insert single edge loop. Bridge edges. Boom. Boom. Okay, and then I just want to make sure that I combine those back together again. Okay, I want to define some polygroups. Polyloop sounds good to me. Okay, I'm just going to define that lower loop. Okay, let's define yeah, modeling like this inside of ZBrush is extremely helpful. Problem is that I got interesting topology flowing around right here, so it's like not doing quite what I want, but I mean, it's not bad either, I guess. I don't know that I'll worry about that. Okay, so since I did that mirror and weld, let's move around and kind of check and make sure. Okay, good. So the thing that I want to do is take our tail, have a little tail. Let's make sure that we got a nice mask there. Okay, so since the tail isn't actually in the concept, this is one that I have to make up out of my head. Which, yeah, I could go through and I can reference things if I want to, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Scale up polyloop, or let's try this. Let's go inflate polyloop. Yeah, I saw that function earlier. not in a stream or anything, it's just that I saw it when I was going through my different Z-modeler options. And I was like, I'm gonna try it sometime. I bet it works nicely. And lo and behold, it does. Okay, so I want to be careful that this doesn't look like a turd. So I was watching, just as a little bit of like an inspirational bit for everybody. I was watching this video from it was one of those TED Talks, and it just so happened it was David Blaine, the magician. The dude's brilliant. I mean, he's audacious and just really, really good at trying new things. And he was talking about how he set a world record for holding his breath for 17 something minutes. And first off, 17 minutes holding your breath. I was like, what? That'll look better. Okay, so he's already looking a lot happier. Anyway, so David Blaine, he's talking about how he's always wanted to do things that push him, things that make him think, things that are hard, things that have never been done, things that, whatever. Apparently the world record holder before him was this guy that could hold his breath. He said he was built for holding his breath. He said he has the whales of a lung, the lungs of a whale. And the idea of that was really, really funny to me, but he said that he held the world record, this guy that has whale lungs. And so he did a lot of studying to try to figure out what he has to do to be able to beat this dude's record, which at the time was like 15 minutes. And he said that he started studying all these different ideas and things to how can you oxygenate your blood, and make it so that you can stay underwater and not have to breathe, whatever. And so he's coming up with all these just insane ideas, and he's like, well, what if I were to just try it? And he said he did, and at first it was like 2 and 3 minutes. And he's asking his doctor, he's like, how can this be done? What can I do to be able to make this happen? And they use like Michael Phelps has like this oxygen chamber that he sleeps in, and tried one of those, and he tried he did a lot of physical conditioning, like over the course of months. He lost a ton of weight. He was getting really in shape. He became really strategic about his diet and started eating things that were strictly nutritional. I mean, just he cared about making the nutrition count, and so he had all that going on. And it just so happened that Whale Boy, his world record was beat by some other guy, and so it went up to 16 minutes, and 16 and a half, something like that. And David's like, oh, great, I was preparing for 15-minute feat, and now I have to prepare for a 16-minute feat. And it's like, what? And then all of a sudden, the other guy, the whale lung guy, comes in. He beats that record. He's just like, yeah, no, that's mine. Snatches it right back. And so David's getting kind of nervous. They put him on TV, on primetime television, live, be able to do this. And he said that the first time, his producers were like, no, nobody's gonna want to sit around and watch a dude hold his breath for 15 minutes. So he got into this. He realized that in order to be able to hold his breath the way that he needed to be as completely still as possible, which includes, just not moving, just not doing anything. And his producer said, no, you need to have handcuffs on, and we're going to have you you're going to have to try to escape from that, whatever. And he said that was a mistake because he was going through and talking about how, something that he had been preparing for. All the struggling trying to get out of the handcuffs, it really uses up a lot of the oxygen in your blood. And so, he had to worry about trying to stay calm, and they had the bright idea of putting a heart monitor right outside of his tank where he was, and his feet were locked to the bottom and all this stuff. But anyway, so he's going through and he's trying to do this. And hey Dante, good to see you too. Thanks for coming back. I'm glad I didn't scare you off last time. So he got in, and he was he could hear the heart monitor beeping outside of his tank, and then he could hear it going up in rate every time he got frustrated, and around 8 or 9 minutes, he was saying that he could already tell that he's just not going to be able to make it. Like, it's just not in the cards for him. He's not going to be able to beat that record. And 12 and 13 minutes come around, and he starts going into like these convulsions under the water, and I'm just like, oh, dude. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm trying to remember if it's something that I had seen before or if it's something that I had watched on television when I was growing up, because I mean, this would have been, gosh, 2002, something like that. Yeah, he's talking about how he's going through all this to be able to do something that he'd never done before, you know, and yeah, he eventually was able to go ahead and do it. He beat the world record, and you're awesome. He beat the world record, and thanks, Loon. That's a pretty groovy name. Yeah, so he was talking about how he was, he wanted to do something hard, something that challenged him, something that made him feel like he could grow, and he did, and it was something where he was able to come to all sorts of realizations about himself and boundaries that he hadn't pushed before, and things that he couldn't push before, but now he can, and I feel like it's funny. I got that same comment from somebody last week. I don't know if it was you or if it was somebody else. My voice is therapeutic. Yeah, I look up to Bob Ross a lot. And so, yeah, if I can be the Bob Ross of the digital world, that would be very fun. Eventually, we're going to be modeling some trees, and they will be happy little trees, inevitably. I like ZBrush. It's such a forgiving medium. I think part of the reason I like streaming late at night, not because I like being up late at night. I'd much rather be asleep, but purely because the kids are down, and it's just all around quiet time. It makes it really, really easy for me to just Bob Ross is the man. To be able to keep my voice down. And so, because of that, it just makes it easier. It makes it really nice. So I think that's the reason why my voice is the way it is. Another guy I really like listening to. He goes by Craftsman. He's this guy who lives down in southern Mississippi. So he's got that southern drawl. And my granddaddy lives down in the southern Mississippi area too. But Craftsman. Let me look him up on YouTube. He's awesome. He's so cool. He does all sorts of stuff, he and his wife, but he's the one that's on the videos. And he has this really, really like soothing, quiet whisper voice, as if by talking in a normal voice, he's going to get like he's gonna wake the dead or something. I don't know. It's let's turn this intensity back down. Okay, so over here I'm going to have my collar. So I'll worry about that part after. I do need to worry about the shape of this down here because this is not working yet. Okay, let's see. Let's jump out of bulldog mode. Steady crafting. My favorite is when he does the sculpt of free-range chicken. It's super good. Yeah, take a look at his channel. You'll like his stuff. It's fun. Water. All right. So things that we were able to work on today. We were able to work on the bulldog a little bit, which is nice. Something that I wanted to get now. Let's fix this. This has bothered me for like 200 years. Let's crease. I want to crease the open edges, so just leave it at 180. And I hit crease, and that creases all those open edges. So now let's hit. This actually, let's just do it like this. Mask edge loop partial sweep. I'm just gonna pull that down. I don't know that it matters a whole lot how far down, so long as it goes through. Makes it feel more solid. Okay. Well, so far, I'm feeling much better about where this is going. Okay. Let me see. Let's make IMN trees. So that we can have different shapes and heights. Okay, and this will be just a simple tree. Let me see, it's almost 11 o'clock. I have gone for almost an hour longer than I'm scheduled to. So either you guys are lucky or I'm just or I'm just way overdue for bedtime. Probably both. Both. Alright. Real quick before I hit the sack. Let's go ahead over here. Let's get this. Let's get this. Let's mask that. Okay. I just want to make absolute sure that that border stays still. But I want to bring this so that it comes down more over here. So we're gonna what I'm trying to get to. My little panda boy. Let's turn it to solo mode again. Okay, so this is a bit tricky of a spot because I want to make sure that I don't lose the volume. I want to make it feel fleshy in here, even though it's, obviously it's a building, it's not real. Okay, let's go ahead like this. Okay guys, let's wrap this up if I can. It's all about continuation on these curves, making sure that these curves that I'm working on that they have a good flow. Pretty sure, yeah, that's that spare little point in there. I think it should be fine where it's at. Yeah, let's pick it up. Like for topology, for animation, that wouldn't be very good because it doesn't allow, I would want the topology to kind of flow up from around the mouth, up over the nose, because even though it's just dog, we're still going to want laugh lines. The laugh lines will want to go up around there, or down into the eyes like this, things like that. It's a tricky thing to kind of balance, but it's not for animation, and it is old topology, so yeah, I'm balancing old with the new. Okay. Let's paint that in. There we go. Yeah, okay, we're good. Okay, shape-wise, I'm trying to decide if that feels better or not. Anyway, I'm doodling now. Yeah, I'm doodling. Okay, so for next time, let's work on some trees. Okay, because that'll be pretty key into making this environment feel the way that it needs to be. Okay, so I'm going to mark that with an asterisk. I always keep my outliner ready to the side so that my outline ready to the side. It's right here in my sketchbook. Little to-dos, little things that I want to do. Okay, including things like the cobblestone on the outside, or hills in the background, which we've gotten blocked in. Okay, so check. Fence, kind of check. Phone poles, check for now. Okay, so lots of things going on here. Things that are going well. So let's go ahead. We're going to save this because I haven't saved it at all this week. I'm going to save it as version 3. Just so I can kind of keep the highest subdivision level you keep for games. So it depends on what kind of game you're working on. So when I was at Warner Brothers, what I would do, what I did, is that we would have our different LODs, our levels of detail. So we would have our LOD 0, which is like the cinematic level with like the highest level of subdivisions, which would be like maybe 3, I think is what we got to. The lowest was obviously just the base level, which would have around 30,000 polys maximum, I think. Something like that. So, if you go through and you think about, 30,000 polys subdivided 3 times, that's a lot of polys. But I think it's something like that. And then you had, your smaller, like your crowd characters that were a lot lower res, especially the ones that are out in the distance as you get further away from the player. Those would be like 1 to 200 polys. Just depends. But subdivision levels that I would keep for games, it depends on what you're doing it for. So you could get as many subdivision levels as you need for the detail. If you're doing it to be able to bake your textures, taking it over into Substance Painter, things like that. Let's get rid of that one because we don't really need it. Yeah, so that's kind of what I think about with subdivision levels with games. Okay, this is where I just need to say "jata," which is Japanese for "there it is," or "it's done," This is going to bother me if I leave it. Yeah, anytime. Yeah, any questions that you have, I'm totally willing to answer most of them. anything that I can legally answer. And I think I have more people watching now than I had when I was starting. So maintaining details of the model in the lower subdivision level. A lot of it's just controlling your edge loops. So this is a way that I go through and I try to do that. So I use my ZBrush, this mask edge loop partial brush. So I tap on that. I'm able to invert that mask, and then I'm able to go ahead and there's another feature, another one that I used to use back with 4R8, that it was transpose edge function. It used to work really well in 4R8. It doesn't seem like it works very well in ZBrush 2018. So I feel quite fortunate actually that I was able to find this mask edge loop option. But yeah, so by controlling where these loops are going, that's the easiest way to be able to maintain details and forms in a low subdivision level like this. It's like if anything is out of place, it's fairly easy to tell, and it's fairly easy to control. So it's pretty nice from that standpoint. I think I'm going to get ready to go. My wife is probably wishing that I had already wrapped up. Poor girl. Okay. Let's use my move topological for a second here. I'm just going to finish these ears a little bit, and then I'll call it done for the night. That looks pretty good. Okay, we'll call that good for right now. Save. Maybe next week we'll go ahead and we'll do a compare. Between now and next week, I'll probably go ahead and I'll modify the chain and all that, the collar piece too, just so you don't have to watch it. But yeah, so that's where I'm going to leave it. So hopefully that was helpful or fun or whatever for everybody involved here today. I sure love doing what I'm doing, and I just, just have fun with it. So, yeah, you too, Spud. Yeah, so make sure you have fun with ZBrush, keep ZBrushing, and I will see you around the internet. I may or may not be streaming again tonight to work on my ArtStation challenge on my personal Twitch, which you can see my username down the bottom there. So that may or may not be happening, but I'll definitely be streaming some over this weekend because it's a weekend. It's a holiday weekend. Got some free days. So yeah. Next time, more volume. I will keep that in mind. I will keep that in mind. Alright, maybe next time what I'll do is I'll put in my earbuds so I have the microphone closer to my mouth. Let me know which one works better. Because I think I had them in last week. But yeah, so take care. I'll see y'all next week.